Breakaway. Good to see you again. It is Thaddeus, and we are in week 2 of our Last Words series, and I am joined by my friend Charlotte. Charlotte, how are you doing?
I'm doing good. How are you doing?
I'm doing well. Thanks for asking. You've survived grade 8, 8th grade. You have survived school in a pandemic. How did the end of the school year go? You feeling good about it?
Yeah, I think I'm feeling good. I ended the school year off with a math quiz, so I'm hoping that I did good on it.
Ooh, quick pop quiz for math. What is 8 plus 7?
15.
Ooh, I bet you passed. Based on that right there, I bet you passed your math quiz. So awesome. Well, Charlotte, thanks so much for being willing to join us today. Just like we saw last week with my conversation with Emily, I want to just ask you a couple questions and just hear what you have to say as you are getting ready to transition out of middle school into high school. So you ready?
Yep.
All right. So Charlotte, what would you say was one of your biggest fears when you were starting middle school 3 years ago?
Honestly, I think my top biggest fear would have been making new friends, because my experience was that based on where I live, I had to go to a different middle school than all of my elementary friends.
Okay.
So I would basically be leaving all of my friends that I just met to start something new and fresh. I did know some kids in my neighborhood that were going to my school.
Yeah.
So I managed to know at least a few kids when I started.
Nice. Yeah, so making good friends, that's a great start, because when you have a community of people around you, they really can encourage you and point you in the right direction, right? That's what you found, right?
Yep.
Awesome. What would you say, Charlotte, is something that as you've gone through middle school, what's maybe a lesson that you learned that has really stuck with you that you'll carry with you as you move past middle school?
I think a big lesson that stuck with me is to just be yourself. And if you be yourself in middle school, like, you gain more friends based on how you are, instead of having those like fake friends if you hide behind a mask.
Yeah.
Hiding behind a mask, basically you have to adjust your own life to fit that group of people that you like find, and you may not even like some of the stuff that they like, and you may not like them at all, and they may just be fake friends. But if you just show your like true self and gain friends that are really relatable to you, then you'll be able to grow trust with them and maybe grow with them as like friends and become like best friends or something.
Yeah, I love that. That's so great. Well, then lastly, Charlotte, as you are heading out, and we're going to miss you in Breakaway so much, but what would you say? I don't think you bought those tears. You kind of just brushed that off. But what would you say to one of our 6th, 7th, or 8th graders in the fall, as they're still in Breakaway? What would you say just to encourage them in their life and in their faith and maybe at school? What's something that you would want to encourage the middle schoolers next year?
Honestly, to trust in God that He'll always be there with you, like every step of the way. So if something like really bad happens in middle school, you'll be okay. And every time that you go up a new grade, you'll have a fresh start with Him. You can regain His trust if you ever need to, and you can like make new friends then.
Yeah.
And to also get enough sleep that you'll be able to focus on all of your like tests and quizzes and homework and stuff like that.
Totally. Yeah. Going off kind of like the beginning of our conversation where I threw that math equation out to you, I almost think you can make this equation that when you take God and when you add good sleep, it results in a good life, and you're able to focus on the things that really matter. And so I love that. That's so good. Charlotte, thanks so much. I really appreciate that. I know that what you shared is really going to encourage some of our students. And so we've been so blessed to have you in Breakaway. I know I've only been here for the last little while, but it's been so great having you in Breakaway. And I know we'll see you as you're plugging into Edge in the fall as well. But thanks so much for doing this, Charlotte. It was really great to chat.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
You're welcome. See ya.
Bye.
I'm joined today by 2 people for this segment. I've got my co-host Micaiah here, who just had some of his bottle. But then I'm also joined by Owen. Owen, how you doing, buddy?
I'm doing great. Are you doing good?
Yeah, I'm doing well. How's the last several, I guess, months now of quarantine life been for you?
Well, I'm out of school, which is nice. We were doing online school, and so that was really hard.
Yeah.
But now that it's out, I'm just doing a lot of work and stuff. So
nice. Good for you, man.
Yeah.
Well, hey, thanks for being willing to have this conversation with us. It's the same questions that same questions that I was asking the other ladies that joined us for the last words. But just when you were starting middle school 3 years ago, Owen, what would you say was your biggest fear going into that season of your life?
Well, I was going to a new school. I had been going to public school in elementary school, so I would have been moving up with all the people that I knew.
Yep.
And so it wouldn't have been that scary. I would have gone to a public middle school.
Right.
And I was just going to see the people I saw in middle school, and obviously a lot of new ones too. But then we decided to go to a private school, and so it was a brand new school for me. I wasn't going to know anyone, and I didn't even like shadow anybody. I didn't go and do anything like that. I just kind of visited the school. So
Yeah.
I guess really my biggest fear was just like, I don't know, it was a new school. So
Yeah, that whole fitting in and Micaiah is really sad hearing that story. That's a tough one. That happened to me too. So I'm really glad that you're able to work through that though. What would you say then as you went through the last couple of years of middle school? What would you say was the biggest lesson that you learned?
Definitely the biggest lesson I've learned is to really just be yourself, which I know you've heard this a million times, like everyone's always told you this and stuff, but I don't know, it's just if you really be yourself straight from the beginning, you'll make friends that you'll stick with the entire time. And if you're being yourself right from the start, then you'll know that they're really good friends. And I guess I didn't really do that. And probably most of it was my fear of like going to a new school and all that. But I don't know, that was just something I had to work through. And yeah.
Yeah, for sure. So now that you are heading up to Edge, and we're going to miss you. I've said it to all of our students, but we're going to miss you at Breakaway, man. But what would you say as you are heading out of Breakaway to the students that are remaining in Breakaway? What would you say to encourage them?
To encourage them?
Yeah.
Really that it's kind of scary at first in 6th grade. But as you've already been there for a year and you've made some friend groups, it's not nearly as bad. It's really just getting through the schoolwork and just making sure you stay out of trouble, really. But really to encourage them, I just say make good friends. Make good friends that know who you are and like you for who you are, and don't try to be someone you're not.
Yeah, that's really good advice. It's interesting because pretty much of the 3 conversations that I had, it's amazing all the themes that are coming out that are pretty much the same, and none of you talked about what you were going to share and the answers that you were going to give. So I think it's really cool to see that, it's probably something that God really wants our students to recognize, is the importance of finding good friends and making good community and knowing who you have been created by Christ and who you are in Him. And so, Owen, thanks so much. That is great stuff that you're sharing with us. Sorry about the little interruption that we had in the middle of that, but you were an all-star fighting through the distraction. So thanks a lot, man. And we'll see you hopefully soon in person, but I guess we'll have to wait and see how things shake down with quarantine life. But thanks a lot, man. Really appreciate it.
Yeah, no problem.
Cool.